What if the secret to getting ahead isn't rushing, but learning to pause? In today's story, you'll discover a hidden principle that changed one man's life in a bustling metropolis. His name was Leo. At 34, he was diligent but perpetually tense. Every morning began with a sprint. A hurried coffee, a crowded train, a screen waiting to be filled. His workspace was clean, but the pressure was palpable. A digital clock pulsed numbers, each one feeling like a personal reminder of the time he was losing. Friends celebrated promotions. Acquaintances bought property. His social feed was a gallery of achievements he hadn't reached. Leo would type his congratulations, but every scroll left a quiet weight on his chest. The uninvited guest of comparison had settled into his home, making him measure his progress, his possessions, and his pace against everyone else's. Late at night, one persistent question echoed in the silence. Am I falling behind? One particularly draining evening, Leo stood at the bus stop and watched the vehicle approach. But this time, he didn't get on. He turned and started to walk. The bright, noisy avenues gave way to quieter lanes, the sounds of the city softening into a distant hum. Soon, he found himself standing before a forgotten city garden. Its iron fence was weathered, its paths overgrown with life. He stepped inside. The air was cool and carried the rich scent of earth. Ancient oaks stood like silent witnesses to time. Somewhere, a cricket chirped a slow, steady rhythm. Without realizing it, Leo's pace began to match the stillness around him. Then, by a still lagoon, he saw it. A tortoise making its deliberate, unhurried way across the gravel. A stray cat lounged nearby, watching with serene indifference, utterly patient. Leo sat on a stone bench. His breath was still shallow from his day, but the world here felt deep and calm. His mind tried to race, whispering its old anxieties. You're wasting time. They're moving faster. You need to catch up. But his eyes were fixed on the tortoise. It reached the water's edge and slid in without a splash. There was a profound grace in its lack of haste. Leo felt a pang, not of panic, but of longing for that kind of peace. An elderly gardener shuffled past with a rake, his own movements measured and gentle. He glanced at Leo and smiled. Quick steps often stumble, he said softly, then gestured to the lagoon. That old shell-bearer has seen many seasons here. Faster creatures come and go. He remains. But it's so delayed, Leo replied, the word tasting like his biggest fear. The gardener's eyes crinkled, and yet completely at peace. He moved on, quietly tending to his plants. Those simple words anchored in Leo's mind. That night, for the first time in a long time, his phone screen stayed dark. He asked himself a revolutionary question. What if my timeline is my own? The days that followed held no miracles. Doubt still visited. Fatigue was a frequent companion. But his inner foundation had shifted. He started making subtle choices. He silenced non-essential notifications on his phone. He dedicated himself fully to one task at a time, instead of juggling 10. He even enrolled in a course, not to race ahead, but simply to learn and grow. Some mornings, motivation was thin. On others, old anxieties whispered that he was being lazy. But then he would recall the tortoise. He reminded himself that steady was not stagnant. Steady was sustainable. Seasons turned. There was no explosive triumph, but a gradual lightening of his spirit. At the office, his deepened focus was noted. His reliability became his signature. One day, his supervisor offered him a new significant project, a quiet recognition of his consistency. Walking home that night under a twilight sky, Leo felt a genuine smile form on his face. It wasn't a smile of victory over others, but a smile born from trusting his own process. The journey, he realized, unfolds at the pace you walk it. One dawn, he revisited the garden. Sunlight spilled slowly across the lagoon's surface. The tortoise was there, a living testament to endurance. A deep warmth filled Leo's heart. The revelation was now complete. Life is not a sprint to be won, but a path to be traveled with intention. Leo didn't become a celebrity overnight. He didn't outpace anyone. But he found something far more valuable. He found calm. He cultivated focus. He discovered a quiet courage within himself. The lesson was this: haste fractures your spirit. Patience constructs your world. Like the deepest rivers, the most powerful progress is often silent and steady. So if you feel late or overwhelmed or pressured by invisible clocks, remember this garden. Recall the tortoise. Think of the patient gardener. Understand that forward motion does not require frantic speed. It requires direction and purpose. Grow where you are planted, at the speed you are meant to. Don't sprint through your one precious life. Breathe deeply. Every meaningful action builds its own result, and patience is the architect of every lasting reward. Allow your story to reveal itself, one purposeful step at a time. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more journeys inward. Thank you for watching.